Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to a Monday morning assembly. I hope this finds you well as usual, wherever you may be, whether that's in school, at home, sometimes this afternoon maybe when you're woken up and you're catching up with what's been going on. So this is just to say good morning everybody to all of you, from reception to year 1 to year 2 to year 3 to year 4 to year 5 and to year 6. I hope that the week has got off to a very good start for you. Now this week, as usual, I have got some work to celebrate. This is lovely, this top one here. We've got some maths problem work going on at home, which is fantastic. Clearly some sharing work, beginnings of division there from our reception children. And I love the way that this has been set up with the little toys and sharing out the money, and someone there having a go at the Enrich activity. I think it's Sahan. What a wonderful way to do it, and thank you very much for sending it in. Great to see maths work like that going on. The other thing I'm really pleased to see is that the beginning of sport is happening. I'm going to come on to that a little bit later on in a moment. We've got here the year 6s back in school last week, having a go at their cricket skills, putting their efforts into good use with their batting and their bowling. I also believe the teachers are trying to get involved as well, from what I can tell. But it's a wonderful thing to see all of this starting to come back and happening again. And here again, what's really nice is to see we've got children here using their art skills, linking it into the work that they've been doing. We've got children here making potato prints and then doing dinosaur prints, cutting them out from the potato and then using the print and creating some wonderful pieces of artwork. And also here the zebra group using natural materials that they found in and around the school, and then actually having a go at creating their own spirals. As it says here, they've been inspired by snails and the work of an artist called James Brunt. And it's lovely to see that things are starting to come back and starting to kind of get back to a kind of normal. And this is another normal here. I'm going to keep going on about this probably until the term ends, to try and get as many of you involved as possible. If you haven't signed up for the Summer Reading Challenge yet, get involved. Go on, it's all free. Mums and dads have got the link to sign you up. If not, just go and Google Northamptonshire Libraries Summer Reading Challenge. It's all there for you, and then they can get you set up and ready to read, which is such a vital and important skill. That keep going, keep reading, keep reading, keep reading. Go and get yourself signed up and take part. Now last week I was talking a lot about not giving up and a try and try again attitude. And what's interesting is, because of something that's happened between now and last week, something actually that's really, really wonderful and something that's really good for our town to celebrate. But it was tied in really nicely to this, because Rosa Parks last week I said, we will fail when we fail to try. In other words, just because something is hard, just because something is very difficult, just because something doesn't seem to be fair, if we don't try to change it, then we failed already, because we didn't even try. And we saw something along these lines happening between last week and this week. Because Northampton Town, our local football club, no matter which football team that you support normally, probably a Premiership team, it's worth celebrating what's been going on in our own local town. Because Northampton Town were in the League 2 playoffs, and the first leg taking place on Thursday the 18th of June, they went down 2-0 to Cheltenham Town. Northampton were at home, so you can see there Cheltenham got into a good lead at 26 minutes, and then just before full time, as Northampton tried to push for an equaliser, they let in another goal. Cheltenham left that match 2-0 up. Now, the Northampton boss said, interestingly, despite being 2-0 down, he said, 2-0 is a difficult lead to defend. In other words, he was trying to say, look, let's not give up yet. Just because we're 2-0 down doesn't mean that we can't turn this around. That's the message to the players, he said. score the first goal on Monday night and change the course of the game. Well, after that game, which happened last Monday, this is what the Cobblers manager said. I'm very proud, not just of the performance, but a lot of work has gone on behind the scenes. I think what's interesting about that is he's saying I'm proud of what they did on the pitch, but also because of their attitude and the work of a lot of people, the players, the fitness instructors, the physios who've all been working, the managers, all the people that were working behind the scenes. And he says, I'm very proud. Well, actually, they deserve to be very proud, because in that return leg, this is what happened. Northampton turned it round and ended up winning that one 3-0, which means that overall they actually won the game in total 3-2 to Northampton Town, which is absolutely incredible, because they didn't give in. They kept going and they kept going and they kept going, and they found that they were able to turn round and take something that wasn't going their way into something really positive. And the other thing that's really interesting about this turnaround is this statistic. As you can see here, Cheltenham actually had the ball, the football, for most of the time. They had it for 54%. And Northampton Town only had the ball for 46% of the time. So they actually had the ball less. But then you look at the number of shots that were taken, and we can see that Cheltenham, even though they had the ball more often, only managed 14 shots. And Northampton, who had the ball less, managed 25 shots. And what we learn from this is this. Sometimes you can be happily mulling along, but it's when things are right that you start to put in the effort. Sometimes you don't have to be trying to work as hard as you can all the time. But when it does come along, that's when you put the effort in. And that's what Northampton did. They may well have had the ball less, but what they did was use that time really wisely. And time is such an important thing, and we must use it wisely. Some of you may still be at home, maybe having still lots of lie-ins. Maybe your day doesn't start until 10. Maybe your day starts at 10, and maybe it finishes at 2. But your 4 hours might be time really well spent. Maybe in those 4 hours you work really, really hard on all your learning, your reading, your maths, or whatever you're doing, and you use your time wisely, and you put in maximum effort in that time. Some of you might be getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning, but maybe your effort and your energy isn't as good throughout that whole of that time that you're awake. And actually, therefore, there's lots of ways we can go about achieving things. We can do really well in a short amount of time and make the best use of it. Sometimes things need to take a bit longer. Here's a good example of a team using that time to their advantage. And it now means tonight that Northampton Town will take on Exeter City at Wembley this evening to see whether they will be promoted to League One. Now, win or lose, Northampton have now proved already that they have a really good try again attitude. And hopefully tonight we might even end up with some even more brilliant news if they can manage to win at Wembley against Exeter. So let's wish the Cobblers all the best of luck for tonight's game, and that they keep that try again attitude going. So best of luck to Cobblers tonight. Now, something else that's been really good or positive during this lockdown period, in amongst all the things that have been much harder and much tougher, is this. One of the things that's happened during the lockdown is that we've seen air pollution in the UK has started to drop. In other words, the world at the moment, or the UK especially, the pollution is less. You can see here that if you compare the graph with last year, where there was no lockdown and everyone was carrying on as normal, we can see the pollution levels were much higher. And during this time we can see that the pollution levels are much lower, mainly because less people are out driving, there's less transport being used, and therefore we're not polluting the air as much as we normally do. And one of the things that we've seen as well during this lockdown time is what impact that can have. That as people, you can see the impact that we are having on our planet. In other words, we cause some of this. This is our doing. because we drive our cars, because we are then putting pollution into the air. We are the ones that are causing the problems for our planet. And we've heard some interesting stories. Things like this. We've heard social media being abound with posts of animals because of this lack of pollution, or less pollution than there was before. Suddenly they're out and about more. Well, actually, some of these stories we understand now are not necessarily true. There was a story about dolphins suddenly going up rivers in Italy because the rivers were less polluted, but actually the evidence is that it's not necessarily true. But there has been something going on. I don't know whether you've noticed it. If you've been to Abington Park recently, you might have noticed just the way that the birds are flying around and seem a little bit less worried than they were before of humans. Of why the squirrels are now bounding around quite happily. Again, because there haven't been as many humans around. And in Wales, this definitely did happen, where the goats came down off the mountainside and happily wandered around through the village because they were less scared, because there were less humans around, and therefore they had less to worry about. And it's an interesting time to think about this, to be wondering just what has been going on with the wildlife while we were all staying in our houses. And now as we start to get out more and we start to enter back outside much more frequently than we could before, I wonder what will happen to the wildlife now. Will they suddenly now just start to retreat and head back again? Or will we find a better way of being with them, alongside them, and working with them as humans and animals together? Who knows? I don't have the answers to this, but it's certainly something for us to be thinking about in terms of what we've learnt during this period where we've been hidden away, the animals have been freely roaming. And as we start to get back to going out again, what changes will happen? What difference will that start to make? And I want to share this story with you. I'm going to read a story to you today. It's not a story that came out during the lockdown. This is a book been around for a while by Jackie French. It's called The Diary of a Wombat. And I think what's interesting is that this is a story where what we get is, rather than the human version of things that are going on, we actually get the animal's version of what is going on. Monday morning, slept. Afternoon, slept. Evening, ate grass. Scratched. Night, ate grass. Slept. Tuesday morning, slept. Afternoon, slept. Evening, ate grass. Night, ate grass. Decided grass is boring. Scratched hard to reach the itchy bits. Slept. Wednesday morning, slept. Afternoon, mild cloudy day. Found the perfect dust bath. Discovered flat hairy creature invading my territory. Fought major battle with flat hairy creature. Won the battle. Demanded a carrot. The carrot was delicious. Evening, demanded more carrots. No response. Thursday morning, slept. Afternoon, discovered the perfect scratching post. Evening, Demanded carrots, no response. Tried yesterday's hole, curiously resistant to my paws. Bashed up rubbish bin till carrots appeared. 8 carrots. Began new hole in soft dirt. Went to sleep. Friday morning, slept. Afternoon, discovered new scratching post. Also discovered a new source of carrots. Evening, someone has filled in my new hole. Soon dug it out again. Night, worked on hole. Saturday morning, moved into new hole. Afternoon rained. New hole filled up with water. Moved back into old hole. Evening, discovered even more carrots. Never knew there were so many carrots in the world. Carrots, delicious. Night, finished carrots. Slept. Sunday, morning slept, afternoon slept, evening slept. Night, offered carrots at the back door. Why would I want carrots when I feel like rolled oats? Demanded rolled oats instead. Humans failed to understand my simple request. I'm constantly amazed at how dumb humans can be. Chewed up pair of boots, 3 cardboard boxes, 11 flower pots and a garden chair till they got the message. 8 rolled oats. Scratched. Went to sleep. Monday morning, slept. Afternoon, felt energetic. Wet things flapped against my nose on my way to the back door. Got rid of them. Demanded oats and carrots. Only had to bash the rubbish bin for 5 minutes before they arrived. Evening, have decided that humans are easily trained and make quite good pets. Night, dug new hole to be closer to them. Slept. And that is a wonderful story about sometimes how we think we are the ones in control of the animals, but actually maybe sometimes it's the animals that are in control of us or managing us, maybe. There's lots to explore in that story. I'm not going to try and explore all the different themes that come out of it, but maybe your teacher could now take questions and go through them with you. Maybe the adults at home might take questions and help you understand a bit more about what was going on. But the one thing that comes out of it for me is that actually looking after each other and keeping each other safe is going to be a very, very important thing as we start to come out of our houses more and we start to meet up with people more often. Because actually we still have to look out for each other, just in the way that we need to look out for the wildlife as well. And we need to make sure that they are being cared for and looked after. And so I think this week the theme really needs to focus on from best, this one. We could say it's about being brave, but I'm going to take that one off because we've been doing it for a while. We could say we need to keep our enthusiasm going, but again, I think we've been really working very hard on that. We could say it's a thoughtful approach, that we could be thoughtful in terms of the way we're behaving towards each other, towards the planet, and towards the wildlife and the animals around us. And we are. But by being thoughtful, what we will do is make sure that we keep ourselves safe, everyone else safe, and the wildlife and the world and the planet safe as well. So this week I really want us to think about safe and all the different things that we are doing to turn around and make sure that we look after each other, ourselves, the world around us, and any animals, pets or wildlife that are a big part of your life too. So this week I really want to celebrate safe. So let us know what you've been doing. Hopefully your teachers will be able to see all the different things or hear about the things that you're doing, that you're making sure that you stay safe as we begin to meet up with more people and as we try and make sure that we look after our planet at the same time. So have a safe week, everybody. I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll catch up with you again next week. Bye for now. Bye bye.